On this edition of U Factor, I got a special treat for you. I'm about to unbox a brand new release from one of my favorite fragrance houses. Not only that, I blind bought this purchase, and I'm going to use the brand new U Factor rating system to rate this fragrance. So, let's see what kind of lightning is really encased in this box. Stay tuned.
The U Factor. The U Factor. All eyes on you when you walk through the door. They love the way you look and they adore the way you smell.
We're back at the U Factor, the channel dedicated to helping you be unforgettable. Fragrance, dress, and putting it all together so you can have that savoir-faire that's everywhere you dig. So if you like content like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel as we continue to grow. And without any further ado, let's get on with the proceedings for this evening.
The U Factor rating system provides an overall review and rating to fragrances to help you decide on whether this will be a great consideration to purchase for your collection. The rating system consists of 8 sections. The first impression is where we rate the bottle design, packaging, cap quality, and overall branding of the fragrance. The self-introduction is where the fragrance is applied to the skin and we immerse ourselves in this experience. The look back factor is where the fragrance's projection, aura, and reach is rated. The after you effect is where we talk about the sillage of the fragrance. Basically, this is where we discuss how the fragrance stays in the room after you've left. The next part of the fragrance rating system is the memory maker. This is where we discuss if the fragrance is in a lane of its own or if it reminds you of another one. The next category is the signature fit. This is where we discuss if the fragrance gives king energy, meaning it leans masculine, queen energy, meaning it leans feminine, or if it has that royal balance, totally unisex. The next category is the mood ring. This is where we'll discuss the time of day, night, and season the fragrance performs best. And finally, we'll give the fragrance an overall score, which is an average of each of the sections mentioned to determine if it has the U factor. The categories receive a score from 1 to 10. 1, of course, meaning low, 10 is the highest. When we take that average and get the overall score, that overall score could fall in any one of the following categories. If the overall score is between a 1 and 3, the fragrance needs work. If the overall score is between that of a 4 and a 6, it's respectable. And it can be worn at different times, but it doesn't necessarily have the U factor. If the score is between a 7 and 8, has a strong U factor, definitely recommendable. If the score lands anywhere between a 9, it has an elite U factor, which means it's better than the standard, something that you should highly consider. And if the score receives a perfect 10, it has that ultimate U factor. It is a classic, one that stands above all. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the U factor rating system.
All right, the moment of truth. Here we go. I've already cracked open the packaging. Let's take it out. This nice little safety wrap here. Oh, wow. I can get a whiff of some of it already. But first and foremost, when you purchase from the House of Argos, you're going to get this card right here. Has its own logo seal on it. I mean, everything from this house really is top notch. Get a couple of test strips that you can use to spray. We'll use these as we test out the fragrance here. The inside of the envelope, top notch. If you know anything about Argos, it's definitely dedicated to like the Greek gods and the stories and mythologies, if you will. You get a note from Christian Petrovich, who is the perfumer here. And in case you don't know, the scent that we're trying out today is from the House of Argos, and it is called JupitersLightning. Very recent release. So the first thing we're going to do in this release, let's take it out the bubble wrap, of course. Duh. I also got a couple of samples because you always get samples when you order it online. So I had this one already, the Fall of Phaeton. I love this scent. I haven't bought it yet. And then Love Triumphs Over War, another sample that I got. All right, let's get into the first impression. We've broken that out the package. Right now, you have this fine gold wrap. Of course, with the touch of their logo again, with the wrapping around it. We're going to go ahead and just break this off. Getting right into it. One thing I can tell you about Argos, their boxing is impeccable, for real. Like, as I stated earlier, it's always dedicated to like mythology. And with Jupiter's Lightning, there's no difference. As you see, Jupiter's Lightning. Portrait, of course. Look at that lightning strike there. Wow. Let's take off the wrapping and get into it, right? The box itself still has like a little bit of shimmer to it. So it's like a work of art. I have two other Argos purchases, the Triumph of Bacchus and Midas Touch. And what I can tell you is this is consistent with everything. Nice, smooth packaging, detailed as far as the artwork. When you take the fragrance out of the box, you get this quality casing, as you do with every fragrance. Argos is Jupiter's Lightning. Has the magnetic flap right here. Tells you more about the scent and the story. Also has the notes. You see the notes right here as far as what makes up the scents from the top, middle, and base. But you got this fine bottle encased in this black velvety outline, if you will, right here. Again, like I said, quality boxing. The bottle itself, frosty look here. Usually you're able to get your name engraved on the back. I didn't get it this time. But again, a quality bottle here. Has Jupiter on the front, bolt coming from his arm, eagle right below him. Get you a good look at that there. Very nice, if you will. Nice indeed. And then at the top, of course, of every one of them, you got the nice jewel and the logo eye. Just wonderful quality boxing. Definitely a high rate here. So for the branding, the boxing, the details, just as far as the packaging, have to give this a 10, man. Quality, once again. This is what you can expect every time you get something from Argos. This type of quality, this type of packaging, this type of introduction, if you will. Great branding. Now let's get into the self-introduction of the fragrance. As I told you before, in the packaging, you get the note breakdown. So I'm going to read it from in here. You got top notes of cardamom, juniper berries, lemon, and bergamot. And then you got heart notes of clary sage, orris, tea, and saffron. And then you got base notes of cypress, atlas cedar, and musk. So as I said, Jupiter's Lightning, the packaging came with a couple of strips that we could test. We want to do a test on the strip itself, and then we're going to test it directly on the skin. See what we get here first. Oh, look at that spray from that atomizer. That's good stuff right there. Oh, the first thing I get is that lemon. Oh my goodness, the lemon and the juniper berries right off the pot, right off the bat. Very fresh. Very fresh scent. Very fresh. Wow. It's pretty good. Bright. Crisp. I like that first impression. Look, I can't wait to even spray it on skin. For real. Let's see. Give it a couple right here. Do the top and the bottom so we get some of that heart there. Be right back. So let's talk about it. Like I told you, the opening, bright, crisp, citrusy, that lemon pop, that bergamot mixed with those juniper berries. But the biggest thing that kind of popped also in the beginning was that orris, that floral scent mixed with that citrus. Definitely was clean. As it dried down, you had some of that sage come through and mixed through with some of that, what I talked about in the beginning. So you had that little bit of spice there. Probably around the 5th hour or so, you had that cypress come through as well, and you had some more of those tones from the base come in, and that musk. Definitely a great scent, unisex scent. If I had to say, if it had that king energy, queen energy, or that royal balance as far as the gender expressions that we use here on the factor rating system, we're going to definitely say it had that royal balance. Great for everyday wear. The seasons, as far as what mood you feel, summer, spring, fall, winter, you could definitely pull this off. Spring, summer, early fall for sure. A great everyday scent. Great everyday scent. And now it's time for the moment of truth, where we're going to rate Argos' Jupiter's Lightning with the U Factors fragrance rating system. Here we go. First category, which is first impression. The bottle, the packaging, the branding. Jupiter's Lightning receives a 10. Self-introduction, where we sprayed it on the test strip, and we also sprayed it against skin just to see how it sets off chemically with your own balance, if you will. It received an 8. Look back factor, where we talked about projection and sillage, it received an 8 as well. Memory maker, does it smell like any other fragrance out there? I can only go by my collection and what I've experienced. And so for me, it does not. It stands in the category of its own. I gave it a 9. Signature fit, does it give king energy, queen energy, or is there a royal balance? Jupiter's Lightning gets the royal balance rating. Definitely has the king energy, and the queens can wear it as well. Great unisex scent. Longevity, it lasts anywhere within the 5 to 8 hour range before it dissipates and it just leaves the scent trail on skin. So it gets an 8. Mood ring, what type of season would we wear this? Would we wear this in the day or in the night? It's definitely an everyday wear scent. You could wear it day or night. Seasons, I would lean towards spring, summer, early fall. Winter, if you have one of those fluctuating winters in the south, but definitely spring, summer, early fall. Overall rating that we give it with the numerical ratings and the average and the total, Jupiter's Lightning receives an 8.6, which means it definitely has the U factor. Well, that's it for today's episode of the U Factor. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, like, share, comment. I'll do my best to respond back as we continue to grow. In parting, I hope your days stay undeniable and your nights unbelievable. And continue to be blessed by the best so that you can stay unforgettable. Salute.
You factor. You factor. All eyes on you when you walk through the door. They love the way you look and they adore the way you